7:15 on a rainy day. Doc Osgood's at mic number 2.
Tell you what, man. What a storm last night.
I'm still sleepy.
It was hard to sleep. Yeah. All that lightning.
Yeah.
I mean, just light up the whole room.
I laid down, I don't know, it was about 10:15. And I love a thunderstorm.
I did too.
To sleep through.
Yeah, they're
You know,
just
what
nice.
I like, the perfect thunderstorm is when they come through on a Saturday morning when you don't really have to get out
up
of bed that early.
Right?
And it's not this severe stuff. It's just that
Just that
roll
rumbling,
in
that
the distance,
rumbling.
a little
Yeah.
right, David Davis?
I like that too. Yeah.
And you look at the clock and say, yeah, 4:30, I could sleep another 2 hours anyway. Yeah.
Exactly.
So how you been, Doc?
Man, we've been great. I'm busy at the office. And, you know, every time I come on the air, I like to talk about something, you know, things that we see in the office or, you know, time of year, certain things that are happening. Obviously, allergies are happening this time of year. That's a big one. We see a lot of.
I got to plug Nature's Way, the health food store in the square.
Mm-hmm.
In my minivan is a little packet of allergy relief.
Oh, yeah.
And it's natural. It's none of this stuff
Sure.
that's going to hike your blood pressure.
Right.
One under the tongue, man. It's
working for you.
Ooh, yeah.
There's a lot of good natural things like that can help, and Nature's Way is definitely a good place to go. I send a lot of my folks there too.
Good.
We see a lot of folks who are coughing, sneezing. You can actually put ribs out of place by doing that. We've had a lot of folks that have come in, you know, where they have they feel like they're having chest pains. There's a pain right there in their chest, goes all the way around to the back. That's just a rib being misaligned from a cough. You can actually put a rib out of place just a little bit.
Really?
And that'll transfer pain all the way from front to back, and those can be reset, realigned with just adjusting them.
Oh.
So, yeah. You know, so if you've been doing a lot of coughing, if you've been having those kind of problems, definitely, you know, have it checked out because it is something that we can fix. You don't have to just live with, you know, not being able to take a deep breath because there's pain right there in your chest. You know, and that's most of the time it's from a rib being out of place. Pretty simple to fix too. But another thing I wanted to talk about today was a lot of folks don't realize how much chiropractic care helps with pregnancy. And
Never would have thought.
Yeah. The pregnant person, you think about how much stress is on a woman's body during pregnancy and how much change she goes through in 9 months, how much pressure is being put on the lower back. Lots and lots of lower back strain get put on pregnant women. And just by adjusting those women, what we've seen and what studies have shown, if you Google it or whatever, you'll find that if a pregnant person is adjusted throughout her pregnancy, she will have a lot less time in labor.
Really?
She'll have a lot less pain in labor, like the back labor that you experience. And, you know, basically, she'll be able to carry that child a lot easier because
It makes sense, but I never would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, it's strain on your body, just like too much weight is strain on your body. You know, the same thing. She's gaining weight, you know, that child over 9 months.
Think of a woman that's expecting twins. Perhaps they're 6 to 7 pounds of weight. That's 14 pounds.
Right. And a pregnant person can be adjusted, and there is
Safely.
There's no problems with, you know, as far as you know, carrying the child goes and being safe with adjusting. There's no problem that way. And like I said, all of the patients who've come in to see me who've been pregnant have benefited greatly from it, have you know, stated that, you know, it has helped tremendously with the pain that they normally would have gone through when it comes to just carrying the child for 9 months. You know, it makes a big difference.
The feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips, the pelvic area.
Wow. Well,
it makes sense though if you kept everything aligned properly as nature meant it to be, then delivery time should be
because the nervous system is what controls all those areas, you know, during birth, and if your nervous system is free of impingements from the spine, then you don't have the problem that you would with, you know, lack of nerve flow to those areas, and then maybe the labor time takes longer and more pain involved, and Anyway, that's what we've seen, is that if the pregnant person comes and, within, 2 or 3 months of getting pregnant, they start chiropractic care and they get adjusted regularly until birth.
They can go through that up until
and then all the way to birth. We've had our pregnant patients a lot of times go once a week until they give birth, and that just really, and it helps the whole system function a whole lot better. Because of how much pain you go through just carrying the child, and there's a lot of lower back strain just from carrying the child, and so that can all be relieved just by getting the chiropractic adjusted.
Yeah, well, what us guys need to do is find about 14 extra pounds that we could just strap
on
to our stomach and walk around while just see how our back and feet.
Exactly.
We'd be coming to see you about every other day.
It's a lot.
14 pounds don't sound like a lot.
But it is.
But what's that?
And
Maybe
some
like
people,
almost a gallon of paint.
Some people, carry even more, 30 pounds, even though they're, only having an 8-pound child.
With the water retention.
Yeah, all the retention that you have. So it's definitely a huge strain on the lower back, and you closer you get towards time of birth, you get all the swelling in the legs. And all of that starts happening. That can be relieved some through chiropractic adjusting as well. So, all of that stuff can be changed and be helped tremendously. So, that's something that most people don't realize is how much we can help with that particular, type of person, a pregnant person. And after the baby is born, everything starts to remodel and reshape. That pelvis starts to reshape in the woman, and just by getting adjusted, it makes sure that the pelvis gets reshaped correctly and everything is aligned properly. Yeah. So we see after they give birth, we see them so that they can have that remodeling phase, and everything just gets aligned properly throughout that phase too.
Well, that makes sense.
And something a lot of people don't know is the child itself during birth gets a lot of stress put on it. So I've adjusted my kids from birth on up. They get adjusted quite regularly, and we have a lot of kids who come in and get adjusted as well, just even right after they're born, just because of the stress that you go through. That neck gets pulled and all kinds of stuff. So
interesting. Wow.
All kinds of things happen during birth.
Is that the adjustment during pregnancy? Is that on the website? Have you put that on?
I don't know if I put anything on there.
I'm looking at it now.
Just be under all the topics of chiropractic care covers. I don't know if I've put anything on there yet about pregnancy.
Let me see under.
I just thought I'd cover it today.
I thought that would be kind of good for the website. Mm-hmm. You've got so much information right here.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on the website. What a chiropractor does, how many things are helped through chiropractic care. It's all on the website there, mountainhomechiro.com. And one thing I always say, too, is if you don't see the topic that you're looking for on the website, send me an email. There's a link there to, ask the doctor a question. And I always like to get questions from the email, and that way it gives me time. I can sit and write out a nice answer and, be able to have the time to be able to do that. And so a lot of folks will send me questions.
And that's another good one-on-one contact with a patient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's obviously no commitment there. You just say, hey, can you help me with this? And I'll sit down and write you an email saying, here's what I think we can do. So, and there's
interesting.
Most cases of, problems in the spine can be helped with chiropractic care. Even outside of the spine, we had talked about this before, the joints themselves, the elbows, the wrists, hip joints, knee joints, all the feet, all those things can be helped with just adjusting. Every joint in the body can be adjusted and can have dysfunction or misalignment.
Well, and I wanted to bring this up, too, with this warm weather. It's putting me outside, raked a few leaves.
Oh, yeah.
Mulched a few things, got in the garage and started moving some stuff around, throw this away, take this to the auction barn, do this, do that.
Right.
And after about 2 or 3 hours, you think, ooh, Hello muscle.
Right.
Hello lower back. Hello hips.
You're doing a lot of stuff you haven't done over the winter.
Yeah.
And, people just get right out there and do it and forget that they haven't been busy all winter long. And so you can definitely even get misaligned in the lower back and hips and pelvis. All that can happen. Raking is one of the hardest things on the lower back, because what you're doing is you're reaching and pulling and twisting with that lower back and the hips, and you find what we find is a lot of disc injuries or problems with the discs get inflamed with a lot of that reaching, twisting, pulling motion, and that's one of the hardest things. So if you are raking, try not to do a lot of twisting with the raking. Just reaching and pulling. It's not the twisting. If you can avoid that, that is one of the hardest things on the lower back. So, but yeah, we definitely see a lot of that, and this time of year is a big time for getting out and getting active. And
we've gone from shoveling snow to raking leaves to getting the yards cleaned up, and like me, well, I'll worry about the mess in the garage when it warms up a little bit.
Right? Yeah, I think
I'm such a whip in cold weather. I don't want to do anything.
I don't want to either. I tell you what, if I work in the garage just with the door closed and the heater on in the garage, so I don't like to mess with it.
Let's talk about your location and the phone number so people can give you a call.
We are right down the street from here, right across the street from Centennial Bank and Affordable Insurance, and the big stone building, and it's Mountain Home Family Chiropractic, 425-4424. Website is mountainhomechiro.com. Visit it. Send me a question if you have any questions, and feel free to browse it. There's a lot of good information there.
A lot of good info right there. Doc Osgood helped me several times, and I guarantee he can help you. Give him a call at 425-4424. Time for the news. We'll be right back. 7:35. Our next guest is David Gist from Cotter Volunteer Fire Department. Before we get to David real quick, we've got a question. Let me pull this back up. Roger asked me a question here, and we'll get this on restless leg relief.
Restless legs, obviously, it's nervous system related, and if the nerves from the lower back control the legs. So if there's any impingement from the nerves in the lower back, it can affect the legs and give you those restless leg symptoms, where you just can't, you got to shake that leg, you can't get comfortable. And if you adjust a person with restless leg, a lot of times it can relieve those symptoms. Now, I can't, get on the radio and say, I can take away your restless leg problems. I, do it all the time. But it has happened in my office. I have seen people with restless leg get relief, have some symptom relief, and do pretty well with chiropractic adjusting. I'd say 80% have some relief, and maybe 60% get rid of it completely. So that's
a
just
good batting
kind
average, though.
Yeah, it's you'll have an effect on it anyway. So definitely you should be able to receive some benefit from chiropractic adjusting with restless leg.
Yeah, we appreciate that question. Came in by Facebook.
Oh yeah.
And another good friend at Mike 3, David. How you been? David Gist at Cotter Volunteer Fire Department.
Oh, doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Good to have you. What you got for us today, David?
Well, I wanted to come in and just talk a little bit about our upcoming chili supper event. It'll be March 28th.
That's Saturday.
Yep. We'll start serving chili at 5. Just everybody come on out and have a good time. We're going to do something a little different this year. We have been having an auction this year. We're going to have a live music band there. The country grass band's going to be there.
That'll be fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
It'll be a lot of fun for everybody that way.
Yeah.
So how's it going in Cotter? Pull that that microphone is
Yeah.
a problem child. Over. Pull that closer to you a little bit. There you go.
Yeah. Doing pretty good.
Make it through the winter pretty well.
Yeah. The street department's done an exceptionally good job this year. Kept the roads clear.
I would bet it'd be tough to get a fire truck up and down that road in Cotter. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's why I was just saying our street department did a really good job this year.
Yeah.
Wow, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
It has been a concern, and of course we chain our trucks up, and so we could pretty well go wherever we want to.
Cool.
What's your biggest need right now at Cotter Volunteer Fire Department?
I would say probably volunteers, as with most any volunteer fire department, and it's not just Arkansas; it's all across the country right now. People are busy. A lot of people are working 2 jobs.
Definitely.
I hear all the time, well, I just don't have time. I just don't have time, and that's understandable. But you got to realize, this is your community.
Yeah.
It's your community. So
I want to hit on this issue, and I don't want to open Pandora's box, but I'm sure there's some state legislator that's tuned in this morning. A volunteer fireman or a woman can spend all night fighting a fire, not go to bed, shower up, go to work 8 hours, come home and collapse, providing there's no fire. You might get paid anywhere from $12 to $15, maybe $20, but the state of Arkansas taxes that at almost 50%.
yes, they do.
I want a proposal to say that volunteer fire department payments are tax exempt in Arkansas.
They should be. I
Yeah.
mean, you spend
It's
all that
ridiculous.
time and get measly amount of money to have half of it.
And I
taken
know we
away.
say volunteer, and the gratuity is nice. It at least covers a tank of gas or half a tank of
right,
gas.
but it should be yours to cover that tank of gas,
But when
not
you give the
half of it
government
goes somewhere
half of
else.
it. But Arkansas is taxing that at 50%.
I don't understand who came up with that.
I don't know.
And we don't
I hope
don't
his house don't catch on
necessarily
fire.
Yeah, right, exactly.
we don't necessarily do this, for the money or anything.
But it's
we
the
do it for the
principle of the thing.
communities.
Right.
But it does make it it does make it a little tough.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I don't think it should be taxed at all. That's those people are out there putting their lives on the line and not getting paid for it. What little pay they get, just
Well, you
like
think
you say,
about
it
it.
shouldn't be
Let's-
taken away.
Yeah, think of David's scenario here. 3:00 in the morning, his alarm goes off, structure fire. He's got to get up, get woke up fast, get to the firehouse prep. Do you keep your suit handy?
a lot of volunteers carry their gear with them all the time, but some of them have it at their stations.
So by the time you get woke up, get your wits about you at 3 in the morning, get the truck, get your gear, and get out there, you could spend 5, 6, 7 hours. Then you've got your job that supports your family.
Absolutely.
Yeah, makes
Think
it
about
tough.
this, folks. And Cotter's a beautiful town. You get down to downtown Cotter.
Oh yeah, nice
I
job.
love downtown Cotter.
Yeah.
There's been some great renovation down there. Beautiful little town.
Cotter Spring,
Cotter Spring.
great place.
We'll actually be down at Cotter Springs on the, I believe, 2nd for the 5 and 10K run.
Oh,
We'll
really?
be doing
On April,
yeah, we'll be doing first responders down there.
All right,
So,
that's cool.
A town worth protecting.
Yeah,
and then
And you've got the older
place.
structures, though, too.
yes, we do. And they're a lot different than say some of the newer homes in Mountain Home and
You've
and
got
other
double
places.
wall
Yeah,
situation.
it makes it tough, especially when fire gets inside of those type structures, because you have to literally dig it out. I mean, once it gets going, there's no stopping it.
How do you know what type of fire you're dealing with? If it's the middle of the night, you have to analyze.
Night fires are a lot harder than day fires because it's harder to read the smoke. You can't see it, so it's harder to tell where the fire's going. How hot it is, how much volume you have there. So night fires are very difficult and dangerous. They might roll over on you, which if smoke gets real heavy volume, dark pushed, and it's night, you can't see it. So it is very dangerous at night. In the daytime, you can somewhat kind of read a fire and tell a little bit about what it's going to do and where it's going. But at night, it's very difficult.
So you can actually, as a fireman, you can follow the fuel of the fire?
Yes, sir.
How do you do that? How do you know?
Uh,
Intuition? You're just smart.
There's actually a science to it, and unfortunately, the more that you see it, the more that you learn, and you can tell where a fire's going. And,
Really?
Yeah, you can tell where it's going and what it's fixing to do. So,
Unbelievable. Now, you were sitting here while Doc and I were talking about the raking of leaves. Let's talk about outdoor burning right now.
Yeah, I did want to touch on that a little bit. I know as it is in Cotter, but probably most places, you can burn, whatever it is you need to burn, but please don't leave it unattended. Stay with it. Because
Have a hose handy too.
Yeah. I mean, because it doesn't take but just a minute, and it'll be gone. Especially if it's a little bit breezy out.
Here's what when and if I ever burn brush, which I do very rarely, you can go out here to one of the box stores and get these 5-gallon buckets for $3.
Mm-hmm.
I get 3 of those, take them to the site where I'm going to be burning, and fill those. Well, that gives me 15 gallons to grab and pour.
Yeah.
And of course you want to wet the area around where you burn first, if you can at all. But with a garden hose and 15 gallons, I found that
Pretty good.
that's not bad. 15 gallons on a small fire go a long way quick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can put out a large body of fire with just a minimal amount of water.
And you're right, it can get away from you fast. Grass fires can just go like that. When I was a kid, it happened to us out on our property, and out in Texas, actually.
Really?
Grass fire, just all of a sudden the wind came up, bam, and it was out of control, and we had the volunteer fire department come out and with their tank truck and put it out for us. So, yeah, it can come up fast.
And it also, when a little grass fire like that does get out, it can threaten your neighbor's house, or outbuildings or lawnmowers or whatever that they have, sitting out there. So you just be really vigilant about being out there and keeping it attended.
Do y'all, your fire department, now a lot of times you can call our local fire department and say, hey, I've got 30 bushels of leaves I need to burn. Is it permissible today in the city limits? And they'll advise you. Do you have a call permit type of deal?
You can pretty well, over in Cotter, we're pretty lenient about it. Like I said, the only thing that I really ask is just that you just stay with it.
Stay with it.
I mean, once you set it, don't go in and have a glass of tea and, sit and watch TV for a little while.
Oh, yeah, I lit that fire 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
Because it does happen. You
Yeah.
know? And, before you know it, it's 2 houses down.
Right.
David, if you had a genie in a bottle and you got 3 wishes, what would your wishes be for the fire department? I mean, if the old blank check effect.
I would say, and Cotter's been a little bit fortunate this year. We've gotten a couple of grants for new equipment. We've gotten a grant for new self-contained breathing apparatuses, which are our tanks that we wear on our backs.
That's good.
And those needed to be replaced real bad.
How long can you stay on a tank? 30 minutes to an hour?
The ones that we have, the ones that we're getting now are 45-minute tanks.
45 minutes.
A really good firefighter that's in good shape's probably going to be 30 minutes on a 45 tank. I mean, you're just because the more you're exerting yourself, the more air you're going to use. Myself, I can suck down a bottle of air pretty quick when I'm working. We've this last year we got a smaller grant for new turnout gear.
Good.
That's always an issue with fire departments.
Good.
And that's one of my big things is keeping these guys in, good, safe gear. Because, like I said, they're volunteers. They're out there. We want to keep them as safe as we possibly can.
I agree. Let's talk real quick before we go to break. Got about another 90 seconds here. This Saturday, the chili supper.
Yep.
Let's go all through that again because I'm not remembering everything here.
It'll be Saturday the 28th. We'll start at Cotter School Cafeteria. We're going to start serving at 5.
Good.
So everybody come on out, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And you got a live band and everything.
Yeah, we have a good time every year out there.
I bet it's going to be a blast.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it does. So that starts, say the time again, 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Start serving at 5 at the Cotter. No, I'm trying to think where the school's at. Right there on the...
Right there at the corner of Harding. Yeah, just past the VSW.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Come on out and support the volunteer fire department, folks.
Eat some chili.
Eat some chili. We'll be right back. 7:51, closing out the program here in just a second with Doc Osgood and David Gist. If you don't know about Kindness Incorporated, Kindness Incorporated provides transportation for elderly and disabled adults in Baxter Marion counties, and they've been helping people since 1997. Well, you've got a chance to help Kindness Incorporated. You can donate at arkansasgives.org on April 2nd from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And by donating at this online event hosted by Arkansas Gives, we'll be receiving part of a bonus pool of $250,000, so the donation will grow.
Cool.
Check out the direct link on Kindness Incorporated's Facebook page. Help spread the word. Encourage your friends, too. And share and invite your friends on this great online event. Text ARG Gives ARGIVES, to 24587 for a reminder text on the 2nd to go online and give. The more donations they get, the more bonus dollars they qualify for. So it helps Kindness Incorporated. Great organization.
Yeah, you bet.
Well, let's see. We're down about 4 minutes. David, your final thoughts before we wrap it up? Cotter Volunteer Fire Department need some volunteers.
Yeah, I was going to add just real quick, if I can. You don't have to necessarily be a firefighter to be on a
That's
volunteer
what we've heard.
fire
If you just
department.
want to volunteer, yeah.
We have all kinds of different jobs and chores that need to be done. You know, station needs to be cleaned. You know, the grounds need to be taken care of and mowed, and you know, people to work on small engines and just any number of different things. So you don't have to, you know, you don't have to be a firefighter to volunteer and help your community out. Lots of different things that you can do.
And then the chili supper, 5 o'clock Saturday night at Cotter School.
Yeah.
Live band, chili supper, a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Good
I'm
fundraiser.
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And Doc Osgood.
Well, since it's springtime and people are coughing and sneezing, if you're having problems with, sinus headaches or issues like that, we can help you with them. And coughing and sneezing and putting the ribs out of place. If you're having trouble where you take deep breaths and it's hurting all the way from your front to your back,
I remember. Yeah.
all that stuff, we can fix you up. And I remember, we talked about being pregnant and using chiropractic care for pregnancy. It's very, very beneficial for you. So remember that, and especially if you've already been through a pregnancy and you've had a long time in labor and you've had back pains in labor, if you're in the second one now, come in and we can really help with a lot of those things. So
That's good.
And the raking and all of the
Getting on and
stuff
off the
with
tractor.
all the stuff with springtime,
Getting on your hands and knees and digging at stuff.
gardening, the big gardening starting up now. So all those things,
Oh,
if you hurt yourself, come in. We can, for $37, we'll take X-rays. That's our normal price for X-rays and a nerve scan. All that stuff's just $37 to check what we need to check and see what we need to fix. So
We're good. Gentlemen, it's been good to have you here. David, it's always good to see you. And Doc, we'll see you again on the 31st. Looks
You
like.
bet.
Yeah. Coming up on April 3rd, the annual meeting scheduled for the, let me get this right now. This is the membership drive meeting for Friends of the Norfolk National Fish Hatcheries, April 3rd, El Chico's Restaurant. Dutch Street dinner, average cost $15 per person. Guest speaker is Rick Crawford, the congressman. He's going to be talking about the funding for the National Fish Hatchery. That fish hatchery at Norfolk.
that's a great place.
Yes, it is.
It's people. Oh, well, that's a great place to visit. That brings in so much money
I'll bet.
because of visitors. People come
Yeah.
in. If I'm not mistaken, they said they had 250,000 visitors on the average the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about that tomorrow, I think, on the show. But Congressman Crawford's working to get permanent funding for this fish hatchery at Norfolk and the one at Heber Springs, and it's very important. Somewhere around $2.3 million of annual revenue is generated just because of the fish hatchery and things
wow.
related to the fish hatchery. So it's a very important part
Yeah,
of our economy here and in Heber Springs.
I'll bet. Yeah.
So anyway, we need to support our volunteer fire departments. David, if somebody wanted to talk with you, how can they just call City Hall and say, I want to talk to David about volunteering? I can answer the phone. I can mow some grass. I can wash a fire truck.
Who do they call?
Just call the city hall, and they can either get you my number or leave me a note in my mailbox or whatever. But I encourage everyone to try to help do something.
And no matter where you are in the listening area, if you're served by volunteer fire department, help them out where you
Yeah,
can.
exactly.
Help them out where you can. And that wraps it up. Time for the Rush Morning Update, followed by Glenn Beck. We'll see you tomorrow.